Got my basket of laundry and I'm ready to visit with you guys today. Today is Wednesday, which means library day. So this morning we went to the library to story hour, and the kids made binoculars today, which was cute, out of toilet paper tubes. And they had kind of I think it was a bug theme today. So that's what we did this morning, and it's the first Wednesday of the month, so I already mentioned yesterday that means I did paperwork today. So I got all of Tom's business paperwork done, and then I got our bills paid for the month today. I actually will, in 2 weeks when I do paperwork again, I always have to pay 2 more bills that don't come in time for them to be done today, but that's my routine of getting all that stuff done. So I had some more questions that I thought I would go ahead and answer today. So the first one was about our socks. I have a lot of socks, of course, in our house because we got lots of feet. So to keep track of socks, actually I should go back and say everyone in our house has a color. All the kids do anyways. So I organize everyone by color. And Thomas is blue, Asher is purple, Judah is red, Justice is orange, Eden is yellow, Solomon is green. When I got that far, we decided to go ahead and reuse some of the colors that we've go back through the cycle again, because it's easier to find all those colors than it is like unusual ones. So Sophia is blue again, and Claudia is purple. Although I kind of tend to, if I can find stuff that's a lighter, like a light blue and a light purple, then that's how I do it. But so I then take their socks in order to keep track, and I'll see if you can see this here, but this is Asher's sock, and his color is purple, so his sock has purple dots in it. And I used to just make colored, like a colored stripy mark inside the ankles of the socks. I put them on the inside ankle because then you can't see it, except for on the girls. I actually do it on the outside because their socks roll down, so I do their marks on the outside of the sock. But anyways, I used to just do like a mark, but after we had Justice, the red and the orange sometimes were hard to tell the difference between them. So at that point, I also started making dots. So Thomas is blue. Oh, this isn't his sock. Put that in the wrong pile. Thomas is blue, so he has 1 blue dot. These are pretty faded because these are older, but and Asher's got the 2 purple dots, and Judah has 3 red dots. Justice has, so you can see that, it's kind of hard to see that one, but it's 4 orange dots. And the girls, I just do little marks still because there's no trouble telling the difference between the blue and the yellow. But then Solomon, just because I go ahead and I make 5 green dots on his socks. So that's how I mark the kids' socks, and I actually mark their shirts the same way, since sometimes I'll have kids in the same size. So I go ahead and mark their shirts with the same kind of a system. Pants I don't so much because they tend to, the sizes are just a little different. I don't usually have people in the same size. So I used to mark their pants like on the insides of the pockets, because most of the pants have a dark label, and so I can't really mark them. So I would do the white part of inside the pocket, and that's where I would make the marks. But I don't usually have to worry about that too much anymore. So that's how I mark their socks. The next question was, do any of my kids have allergies? And the answer to that is no. We do not have any allergies in our family, other than Thomas has hay fever, but no food allergies. So that's never a factor for me when I'm considering menus and grocery shopping and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that would affect budgeting things if I had to buy special foods or whatever, but we have never had anything except for like when Thomas was little. A couple of times he had a reaction to something that he ate, but it never, it kind of went away, I guess, because it's not an issue anymore. He was my odd boy. He always had odd things. Like, he's the only one of my kids that, he's my first, and he's the only one that ever had febrile seizures. We were talking about that this morning at the library, that when he was like 2, I think it was, he got sick once, and all of a sudden he had a seizure, and I'm like, what the heck? So I took him to the doctor, and that's when they told me what this was, and it wasn't harmful. And so it happened to him like 2 more times, that same illness, and then it never happened again. And none of my other kids ever had that happen. But he was always the only one of my kids ever broke a bone. The only one that ever fell in our pond. He's just different, I guess. Hadn't really thought about it much till just now, but that's the way it is. Next is, how much do we spend on groceries? I wasn't actually sure, because I kind of, how I do my budget is I have a spreadsheet thing I made in Excel, and I write down how much I'm going to budget for, I guess you should say, I could say my target spending for like the gas bill and the house payment and all those things. And then I also, in the same place, I have lines for everything that we're saving for. So I have one line for Christmas, I have one for going on vacation, one for buying a car if we ever have to buy another one, which I'm sure eventually will happen, for car repairs, for doctor visits, or buying herbs, for buying our curriculum every year, license plates. Can't think what else is on there. There's like probably 10 things on there. I also have a line for each one of the kids, and we put $5 a month into their savings, and then if they have their own money they want to put in, then we do that too. But anyway, so our income is always changing. Since we're self-employed, there's not like a set amount that we get every month. So I have my target amount, which is usually more than what we need, and if then I like to pay extra on things so that we have like a little cushion. But when it comes to budgeting groceries, I never know exactly how much money we're going to have, so I don't really have a set budget. I just have what I have. So so I kind of was just figuring up about what I think we probably spend every month, so this is just a guesstimate. But I go to the grocery store once a week, and I would say that I spend on average about $125 every week at the grocery store. So some weeks it's less than that, and some it's more than that, but probably not a lot more, because it's usually only a lot more than that if I actually get gas also in the van. But as far as food itself, it's probably not a lot more than that. So that's buying like I said yesterday, like fresh fruits and vegetables that we need, and any items that we need for that week's menu that I didn't already have on hand. And then when I'm buying cases of stuff, usually I get a rain check because I don't want to clear out their shelves. So I'll just get a rain check for what I want, and then the next week when I go, I pick up whatever it was that I ordered and pay for it. So so about $125 a week is what I'll save for the grocery store. Then I spend probably about, I'm going to guess, around $200, although it might be less than that, I'm not sure, at Walmart, because I buy lots of other stuff that's not food when I shop there, so I'm not certain about that, but I'm going to guess it's around that amount. And then that includes the stuff that I get online. Like I buy, like I said, I buy as much stuff as I can online from them instead of in the store, because when I go to the store, I have a really hard time getting everything into one cart. So I try not to buy it at the store if I can help it, because it just makes it easier on my shopping day. Even as it is, my cart is like filled to the brim when I get done shopping, and makes it easier to not have to get it there. So then I also have like 3 different places. One's called Allison's Pantry, so there's a lady here that I ordered from that company, and from there we get like bulk bags of like chicken strips, and they one of our favorite things is the bacon. We get big cases of pre-cooked bacon, and just I don't know, they have all sorts of stuff. So we order from them, not always, but about once a month. I do that maybe every other month or so. And then another place we order from is called Azure Standard, and they're kind of like an organic food place that they have a big truck that comes through, and we meet them once a month. And I usually order from them every month. And from them I get like big 25-pound bags of oats, and we buy our flour there, and they have all sorts of stuff. But that's generally the kinds of things I get from them. Sugar, I get that from them too, and salt, and I don't know, lots of baking stuff, I guess. And then we also, what was the other thing I was thinking of? Azure Standard, Allison's Pantry. I feel like I'm lying to you, but I'm pretty sure there's one other thing. Maybe it's just that Amazon is what I was thinking, that I sometimes get a little bit of stuff from them, but that's a pretty rare thing that I buy food from them. So with those things, I'm going to say it's another $200 a month with those kinds of orders. So that puts me at $900 a month for groceries. So I can't say that's hard and fast, but that's about what I spend, and I have no idea if if I'm doing good or not good, and I suppose it's different based on where you live. Because I always watch videos of moms that go shopping at all these like really inexpensive, great outlet grocery type things, and where we live, there's nothing like that. So I make do with Walmart and our little community grocery store, and I think we're doing all right though. So that answers that question. And I wanted to say too about that one of the things is that the kids once a week they go grocery shopping with me, and they earn their own money. We pay them for doing chores, and I do not buy them stuff when we go to the store. So whenever they go shopping with me, starting when they're about, well, like Solomon's 3 now, and I'll give him $1 or something like that when we go to the store, but I never buy him stuff myself. I always give him the money, and he buys it. And by the time they're 4 or 5, then they actually start clocking in. I use time cards, and they clock in, and when they're doing chores, and then I pay them per minute, and they all get a different rate based on how good of a job that they do and all that. But anyways, they buy all their own stuff. So when they're little, I start saying to them, if they want something in the store, I will just say, did you bring your money? And if they don't have any money, then they don't get it. And so even Sophia, even though she's only 2, she never begs for things when we go to the store, because it's just not something that happens. They just know that when we go, they have their own money, and I give her $1 or 2 when we go shopping, and she picks out what she wants with her $1 and she buys it. And so I perhaps would have a higher grocery bill if I bought a lot of treats and things for them, but they actually get all of their own stuff, and it's really cute. They're learning to be really good budget shoppers, because they are totally on their own when it comes to that kind of stuff. So they have learned to watch for sales, so when the kinds of snacks they like are on sale, they buy those. And they had 2-liter bottles of Surefine Pop on sale the other day for 69 cents, and they were really excited about that. So they were stocking up on 2 liters of pop. But anyway, so I guess you could say, because like the boys were buying cereal recently for a snack, so we do spend a little bit more than that on groceries because they're buying stuff like that. But generally that's what I spend. So the last thing that I was going to talk about today is my pantry list. So I think I've had it on a couple of videos maybe about my little I called it an inventory, but it's actually a reverse inventory. It's not like how much I have, it's how much I need that I'm marking down. So I'm not sure why I called it an inventory, but that's what I called it. So I have a list of everything that I like to keep on hand in the house, and I kind of started it just by thinking about it. Like, I would mentally, in my mind, I'd go through the rooms and think, okay, under the kitchen sink I keep trash bags, and I keep dishwasher detergent and those kinds of things, and I just made a list, and that's how I sorted it on my list, was by where it's stored. And then when it's time to go shopping, then I take my list on my little clipboard and I walk around and I physically look at each of those areas and I write down if I need something, and I estimate, because I want a month's worth on hand at least. So I estimate, can I make it a month with what I've got, or do I need to get more of this? And I did it by room so that it would be easy when I was walking around to find stuff. So even within the room, like in our pantry, everything's written on the list in the order that it's like on the shelves, so I can just turn around in the room and mark things down. And sometimes I keep finding things that I've forgotten to put on the list, so we didn't get any new pudding this month because it's not on my list, and I was like, oh darn it. So that I had to update my list and put that on there. And I keep finding things like that that I have forgotten to add on there, but I'm slowly getting it built up to having everything that should be on there. And then it really only takes about not even 15 minutes, probably once a month, then to go through and just look at everything and real fast mark down what we need. And then I sit there at my computer and I go ahead and put everything in my shopping cart on the Walmart's website or Amazon's or wherever it is that I'm ordering from. And if it doesn't, if they don't have it or I can't get it there, then I put it onto my shopping list app on my phone. And also during the month, I've already been putting stuff on my shopping list app, because when I think of like random things that I know are not going to be on there, like I need a new broom, so I write that in my shopping list app as I think of it so that I don't forget about it. And we already have 2 brooms, but I like to keep one in the pantry and one upstairs, but the kids have been needing 2 upstairs because it keeps having lots of sweeping jobs at the same time. So I thought I might as well just get another broom, keep 2 upstairs and 1 in the pantry. So I'm going to get another one of those. I don't know if there's anything else to tell you about that. So I suppose this is going to be the end of this little visit for the day. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll see you guys again tomorrow.